Here Comes the Sun is capoed at fret 7, and we're going to play chord shapes as if in the key of D. Let's get into the introduction. Bars 1 to 8 of the tab. So we're going to start holding down a D chord, and we just want to strum from the 4th string and strum down across all the remaining strings, 4, 3, 2 and 1, slightly spread out. Then with an upstroke play the 2nd string, open the 1st string and come up from the 1st string and get a bit of the 2nd as well. That's a consistent method of playing on Here Comes the Sun. You'll get the main string that you want, the melody's on the 1st string, but catch the string below it as well. Then put that finger back down and do the same thing. Now you've got a pair of notes in parentheses there. That's showing you that George hints at those notes, but they're really texture. You don't hear them cleanly as a melody note. 4 is the important one. Just get 4 in passing, and then up from the 2nd string, getting a bit of the 3rd. That comes in on the 2nd beat of the bar, that phrase. So 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and. And notice that playing Here Comes the Sun is a combination of specifically picked melody notes, like you're picking those specifically, but he's always mixing it to keep the rhythm flowing with touches of the bass end of the chord, the 4th string here or the 6th string when we go to a G chord. And you want to get the feeling of this right hand in general, sort of going between the 4th string on a D chord and whichever melody note you're playing. So if you want an exercise to get familiar with it, go 4 up from 1 and flick 2, and then 4 up from 2 and flick 3. So practice this. If you find any difficulty with this, practice this exercise. I've got the heel of my hand resting on the bridge here so that I'm just coming from the wrist and moving between those downs and ups, feeling the rhythm all the way. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So if you're getting any trouble with the feel of Here Comes the Sun, that's an exercise to get you into the style of playing this song. Let's get into bar 2. Still on a D chord, 4, 3, flick up from the 1st string, open the 1st string, flick up from the 1st string, a hint of 4, up from the 2nd string. Now you want the 5th string, and then fingers away. You'll be moving to a G chord in a moment, but you catch the 2nd string, flick up from the 2nd string, get a bit of the 3rd. So it's that G chord effectively arriving just a half beat early. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Bar 3. So we've moved chord for the first time. You want a normal G chord, but the 2nd string is at the 3rd fret. Play 6 and you might get a bit of 5, and flick up from the 2nd string, which must be at the 3rd fret. Now if you want to, alternate that with the 6th string, keep going back to the 6th string, but you hear on the record that George actually now comes from the 5th string on the bass. So the first one is 6 and up from 2, and then he goes to 5, getting a bit of 4 maybe, and up from 1, still with the finger on the 2nd string, 3rd fret. 5 again, up from 2, 5, and fingers away, up from 2 with both open. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and A7 at bar 4. A typical guitarist little playing around on an A7 chord. Start with a standard A7, come down from the 5th string to the 2nd. George is definitely stopping at the 2nd because the 2nd string is where the melody is, but if you get the 1st, it won't matter. Then 2nd string finger comes away, open the 2nd string, up from the 2nd. You should be getting 2 and a bit of 3 and they're both open. Back to a standard A7 and again come down somewhere around the middle of the chord. to the second string. Add the second string, third fret, up from the second string. 5 and a bit of 4. Little finger away from the third fret of the second string. Come up from the first string, so you're getting first string open and a little bit of second string, second fret. 5, and it's sort of hinted at up from the second string, but that's more texture. You can leave it out if you want to, or it could be open strings as you're moving to the D that comes next. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and bar 5. Almost the same as bar 1, but because the first beat of bar 1 was empty, he now fills it by playing the fourth string. Then up from the first string, second string, open the first string, come up, and put that finger back on the first string, come up from the first string. Just some kind of hinted at fourth string, and up from the second string. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now bar 6 is exactly the same as bar 2. So we won't break it down again, you play it the same way you played bar 2, and it takes us again into a G chord, but we play something different this time. Okay, we want a 6-string third fret G, and we want the first string at the second fret. I use the middle finger, you may well prefer the index, both are fine. You're going to play 6, and your ring finger is almost certainly resting on the 5th string to kill it, so there's no danger of the 5th string. Just get 6, up from the first string, which should be at the second fret. 6 again. Finger off the first string, come up, you should get the first and a bit of the second, and they're both open. 6, up from the second string, now at the third fret. 6, and a quick move to A7, where you'll come up just ahead of its beat on the and of 4, and it's followed on the first beat of its bar, which is bar 8, by just the 5th string, and that's going to ring across that bar as we lead into the chorus. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Here comes the sun, leading into the chorus. So that's your intro, and I'm going to play it through again slowly for you now.